Today, I want to talk about a topic that is near and dear to my heart. I'm a mom, and I'm passionate about sharing the ups and downs on my road to I launched an online art store, but I'm still learning, and there's a lot of things that go into business and technology that I have learned and that I love, and I want to share information. I love to research. One of the things I feel like is so underestimated in terms of people really not getting how easy it is not to do is be a mom and start a home-based business when you have to work. I'm not talking about it, well, it's still difficult even if you don't have to work, but let's say for instance, you need a 2-income home, or you're a single mom and everything is on you. Starting a home-based business and managing a family with kids is no easy task at all. And so for all of you out there that's either doing it, plan to do it, did it and stopped, my hat's off to you, us. So number one, flexibility. One of the biggest challenges of being a working mom, working 9 to 5, especially when your children are in grade school, is not being able to take off work to do the things that you need to do and run a household and go get groceries. And it seems like, I don't know if you've experienced this, but when my children were in elementary school, it seemed like they just figured nobody worked. I mean, minimum day at 5, parent-teacher meeting this, oh, we're doing this program, that. And the time was always between 9 to 5. And in most cases, not all, yeah, they would have the back to school night or something that would be at 6 or when people technically got off work. But a lot of the activities and programs were smack dab in the middle of the day. Not to mention, most kids get out, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And when they're really young, it's like 11:30 or 12. So I don't know what kind of jobs or 9 to 5 they thought we could do. So yeah, flexibility. When you work from home or you have your own business, you can pretty much go and come as you choose. Of course, if you have a client-based, service-based business and you schedule an appointment, then you got to stick to it. You don't want to be canceling on your clients because, you have to go do a PTA meeting. Although that could be important, but you know what I mean. But the idea of being able to go to see your child's play in the afternoon at 1 o'clock without asking your boss, without having to ask your boss, hey, can I get off or, work some extra hours, or I'll just won't get paid or take some of my sick day. You don't have to ask because you're your own boss. Second, financial independence. Now, this is going to be interesting because I just did a video on overcoming the fear of financial uncertainty, and it kind of is the opposite of, hey, financial independence. This is dealing with the fear. I'm going to link it right here. You may want to check that one out if you have a lot of fear surrounding starting a business. But for all intents and purposes, we're going to be making money in this business, and there's nothing more empowering than knowing that you control your own destiny. There's no cap, there's no ceiling on how far you can go, at least in most cases. If you do have a service-based business where you're trading money for time, then you may have a cap, but you can raise your prices. You can set your own prices. That's something you can't do when you have a 9 to 5. The third reason is pursuing your passion. I know it's so easy to feel stuck, especially when you're a mom. There's a sense of guilt if you, say, start a business and leave something considered safe, a 9 to 5. Starting a home-based business can allow you to turn your passion into profit, and that is very rewarding. So it could be baking, crafting, clothing, coaching. The important thing is to build a business around something you enjoy, especially if your goal is to leave a 9 to 5. Why would you pick something that you don't even like doing? That's the whole point, to get out of working all these hours for, somebody else doing something that you hate. When you're passionate about something and you see a way, I can make money off of this. People are doing it, so can I. Number 4, being a role model. And this one I really, really love. Your children get to see firsthand your hard work. They get to see you, from start to finish. So many kids don't get to see that, and they see the risk that you're taking. They see the perseverance that it takes to keep going when things aren't working well. And it's almost kind of a thing where you're finishing what you start. Even if you fail, they see, you know what, my mom went for it. She did it. Whether it turned out the way you wanted to or not, they'll be learning valuable lessons about entrepreneurship, and it'll show them that they can go for their dreams and pursue it and maybe have something of their own one day if that's what they choose. 5, personal growth and development. Running a business requires you to keep learning. You grow and you develop, because in the beginning, if you're like me, you don't always have the resources to pay everybody to do everything you might need. And that requires you to change the learning curve and to kind of say, hey, let me learn how to do this. Let me learn how to do that. Maybe it might be administrative things that you didn't do in your job. Admin is not your thing. Well, you'll learn to do it if you want to have a successful business. There's no way around it. I'm a creative, but a lot of my time is spent not doing the creative thing, and it's required me to learn. Even with this, I had to learn how to edit, to film. From marketing, sales to financial management, it required me to learn some new skills, and it's helped me to grow and develop both professionally and personally. Number 6 are the tax benefits. I'm sure you know you can take advantage of a lot of different tax deductions, from everything to the supplies that you would normally have around your house, like paper, printers. Now when you go get those office supplies, it's a business expense. And depending on whether you rent or own, you have to discuss this with a tax professional. So I am not giving tax advice. I want to make that very clear. However, some people in some cases are able to write off the square footage of the spaces they use. So for instance, if you're renting, let's just say if you have a space that's 1,000 square feet, and maybe let's say you use 300 feet of that as a designated work area. That means you are doing nothing but business in that square footage. There is a calculation that will add that up, and that number is subtracted to how much you pay in rent. You're able to write that amount off. If you own, it gets a little tricky, because it's kind of like, well, you're paying rent to yourself, but that's a whole nother animal. But there is a way to take advantage of things like the utilities that you pay a certain percentage. If you require some type of service or cleaning or whatever it is, there's so many areas where you can write off some things that you normally wouldn't have. And some of those things you use anyway, but it's supposed to be only for business use. So yeah. In addition to the tax write-offs, you can be more eco-friendly or create your own ecosystem to the environment that you want to work in, which you don't get when you work for somebody else. You might like to have ambient music in the background when you work. You might want a certain temperature and not, have it be 60 degrees because it's 90 degrees outside. It gives you a lot of flexibility and a great tax write-off. Before I get to number 10, if you have not subscribed, please do so. It really helps me out. It lets me know that you like my content. You know what? Even if you don't like it, just subscribe. Okay, to number 10. Number 10 is gonna sound counterproductive, right? But it's great job security. And I know, especially if you saw or are gonna watch the other video about the fear of financial insecurity. It's job security because you get to stop when you say you're gonna stop. Like, nobody can tell you, oh, we're shutting you down or we're relocating, and you either come, or if you don't come, that's a wrap. You stay where you're at, you don't have a job, right? It's only over when you say it's over when you work for yourself. So there is some security in that. Now, I'm not talking about financial security specifically, but that's the implication. You can keep going until you make money. You can keep going until, even if you've made millions of dollars and you have a retirement, nobody's gonna kick you out and say, oh, well, we want to replace you so that we can have somebody that does what you do and pay them less because they don't have your experience. There's so many rewards that come with working for yourself. It's not easy. It is not easy, but I think it's worth it. So those are 10 reasons. I hope it encourages you to get started. And if you started, to keep going. I'll see you next time. Bye.